How's it going, everybody? My name is Nate and welcome back to another video. I was going to do a short and sweet update video on the Central Vac since the original video doesn't exist anymore, but since the original video doesn't exist anymore, I'm going to go into pretty deep detail on my central vacuum system. It's pretty early in the morning, so I basically have the house to myself. I have my phone camera today since I'm going to be carrying my camera a lot. If I was putting it on a tripod, I would actually use my DSLR, which takes really nice 4K video, but I'm going to be using my phone today. So we're going to be going into detail about my central vac system. I have a lot more information that I did 5 years ago, so this should be going a little bit smoother. So the central vacuum system was put in originally when the house was built in 2001. Or at least that's what I've heard from my parents, that it originally was put in 2001, and by the tools that came with it, I'm definitely sure that it came in from 2001. So it was put in 2001. This house has 6 inlets, 4 on the main floor, or no, 3 on the main floor, 2 upstairs, and then 1 out in the garage. And the unit that they gave, I'll show you downstairs. The unit, I would say, probably is about done with life. The motor bearings in it are pretty noisy and he probably needs to be replaced, but that is something for when the unit dies we'll worry about. But the tool set I definitely want to replace pretty soon, probably during the summer maybe, because everything's pretty worn out and beat down and stuff's broken and cracked and whatnot, so it definitely needs to be replaced, but we're going to keep using it if it ain't broke, so that's what we're going to do. So here's the power head as you've been looking at it. If you haven't pictured what this power head is, it is the common power head that you got from the 90s and early 2000s from a whole set of brands. The brands would probably be either Panasonic, VacuFlow, or popular in the 90s was the Kenmore canister vacuums. I can definitely vouch for that because my grandma has one of those Kenmore 90s canister vacuums. Still works, has the exact same power head as this one. And another company, M&S. Did I mention Panasonic? I don't remember if I did. This is a PowerMate dual motor rug bare floor tool. I would only recommend using it on the carpet. It doesn't really work very well on a bare floor. These were pretty popular in most central vacuums. Oh, even I learned last night even Newtone used this head for a while. This is the head that you mostly got in the United States. If you weren't living in the United States, then you probably got the plastic, cheaper variant that wasn't very good. It was probably that one. So you have this is the power head / wand. It is a snappable power head, so you can put your foot on it and pull the wand out. Here has a button lock, and then you slap it back in. Lock still works and everything. The foot pedal, that thing right there, is very worn out, so if you do, you could lean back on it, and it does release without you pressing the foot pedal. Not very easily, but with the wand on it, or the hose on it, it's definitely a lot easier, but the lock still works. It's not one of the locking ones that turn off like I think the Stealths do, or the SIBO heads do. It still has a changeable height. Very convincing sounds it makes. Actually, I'll do this. If you want to see this unit taken apart, I have a video on it recently. Get some light here. Belt-driven brush bar with a center beater bar. Brushes, horsehair, soft but very convenient and very useful on the carpet. They're still in okay condition. They're all here. All the chunks are still here. The belt goes through here, through the motor. This is a pretty worn out thing, and this motor bar actually does spin pretty slow now, so I don't expect this to last a whole lot longer. The system is almost 25 years old, so I don't blame it, but yeah. I have the tool caddy on there. The tool caddy wasn't originally on there to start with. I have the upholstery and brush tool on there. Here's the floor tool. This is actually one of 2 sets of tools that I have. I do have another set downstairs that I'm probably not going to show you, except I'll show you the wand first. Or the handle, sorry. Hose, same thing. Here's the hose. If you had a new-tone system in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, this hose will probably look very familiar. In fact, the new-tone hoses had new-tone on the top here and a numbered switch 2 and 1. Same pressure relief valve. This hose attachment I think was an M&S exclusive. I don't know why they put it on there. I think it was because of this connection, because this is a manual plugged plug. It isn't one of the ones that you can, isn't one of the latching ones. Oh, also Hayden used this back in the late 90s. I forgot Hayden Super Systems used this same power head. Okay, so this hose, I believe if I remember correctly, it's a 25-foot hose. If I'm wrong, it's a 30-foot hose. It's definitely not a 35-foot hose because it can't reach all the way to the laundry room via the vent in the hallway. I guess I'll finish telling my story. About probably almost a little over 10 years ago, the system kind of got abandoned by my parents. I think it was because the system just wasn't maintained properly. The metal mesh filter at the top of the unit was basically just plugged solid, so there was no airflow through this hose at all. Good suction power, but no airflow. So I took the initiative during the 2020 COVID year, like everyone else did, and tried to fix some stuff by hand, by doing a DIY, basically. I took that unit off the wall, cleaned it very thoroughly, and the unit still works today. Has a very nice motor bearing noise that you hear for the first few minutes of using it, and then it goes away. It's actually been healing itself recently over the last year. The motor noise has actually gotten better, which is very shocking because I thought that motor was going straight in the trash can. But yeah, so... Alright, I'm going to go show you the other tools that I have downstairs. And I have a lot of tools, so if anyone can help me decipher each tool, that would be super helpful. Oh, I forgot to mention the crevice tool on the handle. Alright, let's go downstairs. I guess while I'm down here, I'll show the unit. It's in our mechanical room / electrical water room. Sink room, as I call it. Here it is. It's an AirVac, model A3500 with the 3-stage 5.7-inch motor. As you can see, it was just emptied recently. AirVac. Up there is the model number / serial, if you're curious. The pipe in here is pretty beat up. As you can see, it's at a very nice angle. It wasn't bolted properly, and yeah, I never actually ever cut that. It's been taped once because it has a crack in it. Obviously, it's going to need to be taped again. And the pipe goes off this way, and I'll show you where the pipe technically goes. This is the muffler. We actually added this muffler about 5 years ago, along with the high-frequency silencer. This wasn't originally here. Originally, when this unit was put in, this thing was loud as hell. So we made it a little quieter by adding the muffler to it. In fact, we probably could have trimmed this off a little more and then face it down so it doesn't blow up into the ceiling there. And it would be a little quieter, so maybe that's something I'll look into over the summer, because this thing is disconnected. This thing doesn't work anymore. So technically we can even take this off the wall and give it some more room so it faces down instead of up, and then make this pipe a little shorter, and then make this pipe a little shorter. Has a bucket. It's one of the bagless buckets with the stupid cloth filter in it, the thing that clogs super easily. I have to clean it maybe every 6 months, and by the 6th month it pretty much needs to be emptied anyway, but we're lazy and we don't get around to it quick enough. Oh, here's an inlet. Let's see here. This must be... Actually, let's use this one. No, we're gonna use this one. These are the old inlets. Actually, I can show you that they're the old inlets because they say M&S on them, which are the people that installed it, I'm guessing, or some low voltage contractor. Here's the inlet that was out of the front hallway. You can tell it's pretty heavily used. So they're pretty yellow. This one was definitely in the garage. This one was out of the front hallway. I replaced all the inlets last year except one of them. One of them I'm gonna have to take that one. There's one I have to take off the wall again and fix from one of the new ones because it doesn't seal properly. But I don't have time to do that because I'm heading back to school in a couple weeks or in a couple days. So yeah, but here's the unit in place. Let's go look at the extra set of tools that I have for it. One thing that I did try to do last night was vacuum this room with the vacuum. I had it hooked up to the utility inlet and one of the outlets in there and vacuumed basically this almost the entire space. This is as far as the head would go. There are no inlets in the basement, so this carpet back here needs to be vacuumed by another vacuum cleaner, sadly. I wish there was an inlet here. If we really wanted to, we technically could add another inlet somewhere nearby, because if you look up and look really far, let's see if I can even see it myself. Well, there's a vent somewhere back there that's part of that run for the main floor. Anyways, there's a box here with oh, I forgot to turn the light off, and this door doesn't shut properly. There we go. That door's not aligned. Here's a box of tools. Ignore these. This is for a Dyson DC65 that's at my dad's work. Some pipe. And some mystery tools I don't know about. Whole bunch of extra tools and whatnot. An extra brush bar. Has a lot of paint. I'm assuming this was all used in the garage here. Central Vac indoor, I'm guessing. And then another set of tools. And this is the Central Vac outdoor. We did originally have... Oh, here, I'll let you look at it. We did originally have 2 sets of hoses. Actually... while I'm here, I'm going to steal this crevice tool and replace it with the one that's upstairs, because this crevice tool is a bit slimmer, so it'll be easier to clean that dryer vent. We did have 2 sets of hoses. The second set of hose was just a low voltage hose with no switch on it. That used to live in the garage, but that hose was so terrible. I think probably when the system got dumped, basically, we threw that hose out because we only used the one that was inside anyway. But, yeah, so that's the hose attachments. This would sit flat. I'll be able to close this box here. It's pretty beat up. I'm going to take this crevice tool with me, though. But, yeah, so I'll show you all the inlets in the house now. So, and then we'll show you the house running. Someone lost something on my that Star Wars shelf there. Oh well. Looks like, oh, Leia lost her helmet. Where is Leia? Oh, Leia fell. Ha! Oh well, it can sit there, I guess. So I'll show you all the valves here. Here's one of them in our living room. You probably noticed it while we were looking at this. This one needs to be refitted. This one doesn't seal very well. You can hear it leaking. The one I'm currently plugged into is the one in the hallway, since this one basically almost reaches the entirety of the first floor. It doesn't do the back part of the sunroom, and it can't quite reach the back of the laundry room. It gets to probably to where this line is, right here. This is as far as the tool reach. You can tell because it's a little bit more dirty over here. But that's okay. If I really need to deep clean the laundry room, there's an inlet right behind this door. I guess I'll turn the light on and show you the valves here. All the valves are brand new upside down vacuum valves, because that's how they were originally. These are low voltage only. These never had high voltage valves, which are very disappointing because this was a new build. These are all brand new ones. There's one out in the garage, right behind that recycling bin. That one used to leak the worst, but that one actually seals second best out of all the valves now. This one was, you saw the one for the garage, it was pretty beat up and yellowed and scratched, and when we repainted this wall it didn't match at all, but now it's white so it blends in a little bit better. But that's the one in the garage. We don't really use that one a lot. I only use it when I vacuum my car. So if you want to call it 4 inlets on the main floor, that's fine. And then there's 2 upstairs, one in the master bedroom and one up in this like centrum area, or the upstairs hallway you want to call it. Wrong switch. Here's the other inlet. This one doesn't get used because the one in the master bedroom serves the entire floor. There's a cord for it in case we do want to use it because the outlet is right behind this shelf. Very, very convenient. But the inlet does work. This is the best sealing one. This one does not make any noise at all. And then the one that leaks the most now is the one behind this door here. This is an original valve. You can tell because it's pretty beat up and still says M&S on it. But it hasn't discolored, but it's pretty beat up. I tried fixing this one by putting some sealant around it. This room's going to get repainted anyway, so everything's going to come off the wall. And this one will get replaced. Okay, let's go downstairs and get to it. When in 2020, when the system got restored, I tried to make sure everything was perfect. I cleaned out the power head, and the system is basically almost completely functional again. Other than those weird quirks of stuff leaking. So yeah, so I'm gonna take this off here, set it on the stairs. I remember to take it down with me. This garbage tool's nice, but it's too long and it barely fit in the dryer vent last time I tried to clean out the vent in the dryer, although that was the last dryer I tried it because we got a new dryer since then. So this one is our replacement, and it's a little bit smaller, so it probably fits a little better and it won't fall off. This one takes a little bit of finagling to get the hose lock on it. I'll try my best here to do it one-handed. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take this off so you can hear the sound of the AirVac AV3500 running. You might hear the motor because it's literally right in the corner of the room down there in the basement. So I will set it down and you'll hear the power of the AirVac. Try not to stand in the shadow here. Alright, so here's the AirVac. I don't know if this is open or closed. I think this is closed. Here we go. System has pretty good suction still. Yeah, that motor shut up pretty quickly. Sometimes the hose and the switch misbehave and it likes to not start. I'm guessing either the wires are just barely broken in the handle or broken in the inlet. I think it's on that side. But it hasn't acted up in a couple months, so it's very intermediate. It doesn't happen very often. Usually if it happens, just smack it. Just like give it a smack and it'll come back on. It's only the vacuum part. The power head part works just fine. Except sometimes the power head also sometimes doesn't start and you have to kick it to get it to start. But yeah, so actually let me turn some other lights on in here. Okay, this is a little better. You actually get to see what I'm doing here. This carpet, even though it's a pretty plush carpet, it can go on low and it will start and not trip the overload. Extra low, it's too hard to push and it will trip the overload eventually. So, yeah. So, let me make sure I didn't make the mistake of not plugging in the electrical cord. Okay, I did plug it in. It is a pigtail cord, so I have to remember to plug it in every time I want to use the power head. As you can see, if the camera will focus on it, the hose has some tears in it. Pretty beat up. It's pretty sad. Alright. Air. You can hear that motor bearing screaming for its life now. After a while, it goes away on its own, or if you did that little suck thing, it'll go away, but you won't be able to hear it once I start the power head, so here we go. If you're used to the sound of every Kenmore, Panasonic, and Newtone power head in this generation, they all sound the same. It's that same PowerMate motor and very dim headlight, if you can barely even see it. Benefits for an LED bulb, that's for sure. Doesn't spin very fast until it warms up, then the bush bar spins a little faster. There it goes. Now it's spinning a little faster. But works pretty good. Good power. And the motor has quieted down a little bit, so you can barely hear it, which is good. I'll vacuum the rest of the living room without recording, and then I'll do some hardwood stuff. I'll probably be in my kitchen when I get there, so I had to vacuum all of the furniture. This week's furniture week, so I got to vacuum all this stuff. Plus, people are coming over on Saturday, so I got to make sure everything's clean. So, yeah, I'll see you when I get to the kitchen. Alrighty. I forgot to mention, this is the AV3500. It has the single 3-stage 5.7-inch motor, which is a pretty small motor. The specs, I believe, are 91 inches, 91 CFM. I think it's like 130 inches of water lift, and I think it's 460 air watts of vacuum. So it's a pretty small machine. It ain't powerful. I mean, it's no Silent Master 900R that has 900 air watts, which is ridiculous, and it's not serving a 10-20 inlet house. It's only serving a house with 6 inlets, and we only use 2 of them most of the time. So it's a small unit, but it gets the job done. So here it is on bare floor. I was so happy the first time I clogged this thing to actually hear the vacuum running and hear this sound coming out of the head. That was an amazing, astonishing moment for a witness. Because this thing just absolutely has the airflow. I sucked something up. I don't even know what it was. These chairs are over here. This hose is pretty ridiculously heavy. It's one of the older style hoses, so it's ridiculously heavy. It's not one of the Plastiflex hoses, which are, in theory, from what people say, the best hose and the only hose that should ever exist, because those things are ridiculously light. Hey, there's my Christmas village. Actually, set this here and we'll go downstairs and listen to the unit. With the high frequency muffler and the tube muffler, it's actually pretty quiet. Before I could open the door to the basement, and this thing would be screaming. But now, it's pretty reasonably quiet. Before, you'd be screaming over each other because this unit would be so damn loud, but I can actually talk at a normal volume, basically right next to this room. I can have a conversation with my mom scrapbooking or something and not have to yell over each other, which is awesome. Until you open the door. But still, even with the door open, it's pretty silent, so I don't think this thing is more than probably 65 decibels. Maybe 70. With the muffler, it was more like 80. So, yeah. So it's pretty reasonable, other than that motor bearing noise at the start. Actually, it's pretty decently quiet now, but again, there's more powerful units out there, and I would love an AMD, I'm in computer mode, an AMD Flowmaster or a Silent Master in a perfect world, because those units are literally the best units ever you can buy. But still, even that, listen to that airflow. Sounds incredible. I'll get back to you when I get to the laundry room. Now that the entire hose is completely extended out, this thing really rips now that it has a full path of airflow. Yes, this hose makes it to this inlet, but it doesn't quite make it to the edge of the laundry room, which I'll show you, but the airflow on this thing is ridiculous now. Listen to that sound. This is always the most satisfying, is this bathroom. Just listening to that thing sing. Yeah, need to clean that later. Laundry room, and I'll show you where the limit is for this hose. There's a bit right there. Fully stretched out. That's as far as it goes. There is no more slack. So the 35-foot hose would be perfect for this house, because that one inlet would be able to service this entire first floor. Which I wouldn't be able to vacuum the sunroom anyway, because the hose doesn't quite reach all the way to the back of the sunroom. So must be a 25-foot hose then. But yeah, that's the whole hose. Extended all the way to the laundry room. So yeah, well, that's the first floor done. So I'll go up to the second floor and use the inlet in that master bedroom and vacuum the upstairs, which is mostly carpet. Alright, we're upstairs. Have it plugged into the wall. I think I already lowered I did. This can use the extra low setting on the carpet. It's basically silent up in this part of the house. And it spins really nicely up on this carpet. Basically glides, almost. Not a lot of pressure. Definitely different. Oh, hey look, an inferior vacuum cleaner. Who would use that when you have a central vacuum system? I don't mean to be mean. That vacuum's actually okay. It's a Kenmore. It's basically that power head was this power head at some point. Just a bit of evolution, and well, you get something like that from this. That vacuum power head's really spinning now. It loves this carpet a lot more. It's much happier with it. It's also a lot louder because the brush bar is spinning faster. Oops. I really hate that relief valve on this hose. I accidentally bump it or opens on its own or what. Man, this brush bar is running pretty fast today. It was not like this the other day. Got something. She's running quick. This carpet's not a huge deal, so that's usually fine. Come on, hose. Oh, don't want to get caught on the bed here. Don't want to test the overload protection system, but I know it works because I've caught it on the bed once before. And it did shut off basically immediately, so the overload protection system actually does work. I think you get an idea, so I'm going to vacuum the rest of the upstairs and I'll end the video. Alrighty, that's going to conclude the video here. Anything I forgot? I don't think I forgot anything. If I were to change anything with the system, obviously, everything. Oh, come on, clock, really? I was trying to do a video here. The one thing I would change is if the basement wasn't finished, it would be easier to add a hide-a-hose system. If that was the case, then I would get a hide-a-hose system with one of those Wesselwerk EBK 360 DCs. If I were to change the system as now, I would probably upgrade, obviously, the unit and the hose kit The hose kit, I would go with... Actually, let me do the unit first. The unit, I would either go with an MD Flowmaster or an MD Silent Master, depending on which unit is best sized for my house. It would need a little bit of a reworking in my closet, or my utility room, since there isn't a whole lot of space there. It would have to be a 120 unit, because I don't have 240 for that unit. That unit is only a 120. Hose kit, I would either go with it would all be MD. I'll stick to one brand. I actually love MD. MD actually does make some pretty good stuff. It would either be an MD, it would be the EBK Wesselwerk 360 kit. It would be one of those kits, or I would go with the MD Stealth kit, which is by the other brand that I think starts with like a K or something. Whatever, but I would probably go with a Stealth kit because it comes with a really nice power head and it's super quiet. A lot quieter than this. Doesn't have a headlight on it. That doesn't bother me. The headlight barely worked on this one anyway. So yeah, that's basically the end of this video. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, I was going to show you the path where that tube went. I couldn't see it in the attic, so maybe I'll give it another shot here. Here's the unit again. There's the vac pipe. From what I can figure out by just kind of tracing it, the vac pipe goes all the way down the wall. See if we can even see it intercept. There's this wire in the way here. And then it cuts across. Can't see it though, it's too dark. But it definitely cuts across. So when it gets to probably, I'd say about here, I think the pipe cuts across and then it services this inlet. So I think all the inlets downstairs are all in one line. I don't know why the installer did this. At least that's my guess, because I could see the pipe from the utility room through here. I could see it clear as day. I don't know why I couldn't see it before. Hold on, let me see if I can find it again. Okay, so I grabbed one of the probably brightest flashlights I've ever had, and probably the brightest flashlight in this house. And when I say the brightest flashlight, I'm not kidding. This thing's nuts. So we're going to turn this on here. Oh, I get it to turn on here. There we go. Put it on top of my phone and see if there's any plastic pipes there. To see anything in this house anyway, because we have this giant furnace here. But for some reason, I don't remember. Oh, wait. Oh my God, I'm stupid. It's right there. Holy crap, that's the pipe. I don't know why it took me forever to realize that. That's the pipe. So it services the inlet in the hallway and then goes across. That has to be the vacuum pipe, because there's no other pipe in this house that services that direction. Unless there's a drain pipe, which that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because the drain pipe would be the size of that HVAC return pipe. So that has to be a vacuum pipe. So the vacuum pipe, whoa, cuts across the ceiling right there and goes across and gets those two inlets. It must split because there's an inlet in the laundry room, which is probably right above here. And then there's an inlet out in the garage, which is over there somewhere. So my guess is it splits into two runs. So it'll be 2, 2, and 2. Actually, no. It'd probably be 3, 2, and 2 because the inlet that's upstairs in the hallway drops down. It doesn't go up into the attic. And I know this because you can look in and it'll see it drop down. The inlet that's in the master bedroom does go up into the attic. I did notice this because when we tore the wall out in the bathroom, when we were redoing that master bathroom, the inlet behind that wall, because we tore out the bathroom side, we could see the inlet going up into the attic space. And yeah, so the pipe definitely cuts across like here somewhere. It has to. Maybe that pipe I'm seeing is the second run of pipe that goes across. So maybe there's a pipe run that goes from here to service that inlet, and then the one in the living room somewhere, which is just right behind that door, probably cuts across and services it. And then there must be another pipe, because that pipe doesn't seem too far away. It must be like somewhere in the middle here that goes across and then services the second half of the system. And then probably another cut in, maybe somewhere in this general area that goes shoots up to the attic space, or it goes here, shoots up attic. I don't know how the pipe runs work. If I had a blueprint of the map of the house, then I'd be able to tell you, but I don't. So yeah, but anyways, that's the video. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and until next time, peace. High five.